Namaste yogis, how are you? I'm back actually filming actual yoga videos. We've moved house. This room is a little bit echoey, so we'll see how the audio turns out. But today we're going to do a yin class, and today it's going to be all about your upper body. So roll out your mat, grab a block or two or a bolster and blankets and just a whole lot of props that are there if you need them. It's okay if you don't use them, but it's pretty awesome to feel very supported in your yin practice. So go and gather up that stuff and I will see you back here real soon. So first off, we're going to start in the delicious bananasana, banana pose. Come on to your backs. Find a comfy, cozy position to be in. Basically, just lie down nice and straight. I'll just shift my blankets. And if it's comfortable for you to have your arms over here, go ahead and raise them, but that's not necessary. You don't have to if it doesn't feel good. Remember, yin is all about allowing your body to guide you into the pose that's right for you. So we're going to move our heels over towards the left side first, and if that already feels tight, then you're just going to stay here. If you need a little bit more, just shuffle the shoulders over to the left as well. Arms could be overhead, released, or you can hold them. And you can explore if you'd like to hook your left ankle over your right or your right over your left. Because we're curved away from the right and into the left, I like to put my left ankle over the top of my right so that I can allow the right side of my body to draw down. And we're going to be here for 3 minutes, starting from now. Allow yourself to soften. Take a deep breath in through the nose, sigh it out through the mouth. And allow your body to relax. Close your eyes, relax your face, your eye muscles, your jaw muscles. Just melt into it here. Allow the whole right side of your body to draw down to the floor. If you have a little sandbag or a weight bag, you can put that on the top of your left hip if you want to add, your right hip, if you want to add a little weight to keep that hip down. If it's uncomfortable to have your arms overhead, just change them around, one up, one down, both down, out to the side. Find what feels good. And I'm going to leave you to your silent contemplation now, just finding your first point of resistance. Stay there, move a little deeper as it eases, and find the quiet place within you as you focus on your breath. Take a deep breath in and very gently ease yourself out. From that position, feel free to find a little movement if you want, or just move into the other side. But what's really nice to do before you go into the other side is to draw your knees up in towards your body. Give yourself a little squeeze. It's a nice little counter pose, a little yang for your yin. And walking your heels over to the other side. If you want, walking your shoulders over as well. Finding a comfortable position for your arms. Choosing whether you want to hook your ankles or not. Taking a deep breath in once you find that lovely sweet spot. And sighing out through the mouth. Surrender. Now remember your yin practice, it's not a restorative, relaxing practice. There is challenge. You do want to find some challenge there. Now we're not overdoing it, we're just finding the first point of resistance and stretch. And right now, for some weird reason, I can feel it down my left side and really quite strongly in my armpits. I'm going to ease that off. It's really unusual. I wonder what I've been doing. And so that's something that I might want to release out in this stretch here. There's obviously some tightness in the fascia. So I'm going to breathe into it, ease it off if it's too much. And eventually over these 3 minutes, I'll just get a little deeper and help to release that out. If you feel something like that but it's too intense, just go ahead and bring the arm down. You don't want to overdo it. You just check in with your body and get permission from your body. And then soften, surrender, and find that still quiet space within. Try not to strain. If you feel like your body is straining and your muscles are efforting too much, breathe into it, release, soften, release the glutes if they're straining, the thighs, your side, your arms, breathe it out. Ease off if you just can't find that relaxed point in your body. And then come back into it and see how you go. And that's our 3 minutes out. Take a deep breath in. Very gently release out. Give yourself a little stretch if you need to. A little wobble around. Maybe hug those knees in. And squeeze into center. And you just surrender for a moment. Very slowly. Into your pentacle pose, your Savasana. A nice big wide Savasana. And soften out there. I'm going to leave you there for 1 whole minute. Allow the whole body to soften here as you rest into your Savasana. Feel the sensations in your body. Notice how each side of your body feels. Allow your breath to be easy and gentle. And deep breath in. Stretch out. Find some movement. Roll to your side and gently come back up. Now you want a block, or if you don't have a block, a bolster, or you could get like a big book or a Tupperware container and put a blanket on top if you want a little more comfort. But we'll see how we go with our block. We're going to do an armpit stretch. So lying on your side, I'm on my left side, and we're just going to rest the side of the body onto the block. I got bony hips, so I'm actually going to put a little bit of padding underneath my hips. Well, that feels much better. And we're going to be in this armpit stretch. Oh, I might have made a bit of noise. Also, for 3 minutes. So it may be a little bit intense to start off with. Just see how you go. Eventually the body will open up and you will soften up. Breathe. You can take your time to find that sweet spot. If you need more support, you can have another block in front of you to rest your arm on, if you like. Try and surrender here as you soften. You could also have a little support for your head if you wanted it. Just play. Find the position that works best for you here. We've got 2 minutes to go. Breathe deeply. Try and soften through the torso, through the armpit. Through your body, you might be holding tension in your lower body if you find that this is quite intense. If it's intense, just get a smaller, softer prop. You can always put me on hold. Go and get that thing that you need and then continue. Just over a minute left. It's finding the pose, hopefully becoming more comfortable, feeling your body melting into that block a little more. Almost there. And when you hit that sweet spot and you're like, oh, I'm quite comfortable now. That's when it's time to exit. So 15 seconds. You can always exit these poses way earlier if they are too intense for you. But here we go. Here comes the chime. 4, 3, 2. There we go. Gently release from there. See how it feels. Roll out a little bit and then take your block to the other side. And we're going to go right to the other side straight away. 3 minutes from now. Whoops. There we go. Took me a while to find my comfort. And this is definitely challenging, so just see how it feels. And like I said, grab something softer if you need it. If you just feel like it's too intense, breathe into it, soften, release, surrender. Let go of any muscular effort in the lower body if you can. Keep softening through. Relax any muscular effort in your face. It's really hard for the body to relax if the face is tense. Almost there. This side was way more comfortable. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Gently release out from there. Roll out the shoulders if that feels good for you. Just again finding what you need. And we're going to come into a shark's fin stretch. You'll need a couple of blocks, or actually you could use a coffee table if you're super tight in the shoulders and the chest area. So we're going to find a position, a kneeling position that feels comfortable, child's pose or wide-legged child's pose, and you're going to place your elbows onto your block and come into a shark's fin. You can let the head come down to the center and breathe into it. For those of you that are quite open, you can have a higher position with the blocks. And let the head come through. And if you're just super tight, you might not have the blocks at all. So really find what works for your body right now. And we're going to be in this one for 3 minutes as well. I'm going to go for this level. Take a deep breath in through the nose, sigh it out through the mouth. Try and relax any tension in your face here. If you are on the blocks and you find this quite intense for you, you can raise the forehead up onto a little cushion. Soften the eyes, soften the jaw. Breathe your breath into your thighs if the thighs are connected to your body right now. That way you get a nice massage through the abdominal organs at the same time. Keep breathing, almost there. 10 seconds to go. And gently release out from there. Rolling out your shoulders. We're going to come into a lovely half dragonfly. So, with your blocks again, our blocks are our friends today. You're going to extend your right leg out to the side, left leg in. And depending on how you feel, now I had an ankle injury not that long ago. So my little ankle needs a little support from time to time still. Not through yoga, through walking. I just rolled my ankle on some uneven surface, which is not great when you're a yoga teacher. So here we are in our half dragonfly pose, and as many blocks as you need to support yourself. And we're actually going to interlace our fingers behind our head and then just find that support there with the block. You can be high or low, you can start high and then work your down a little lower. And this is another 3-minute hold for us today. Let's surrender into it. If you need a little support underneath your your right knee, you can place a rolled up blanket there as well if it feels super tight. Take a deep breath in here and exhale, release. So I have my fingers interlaced behind my head. I'm just resting my head in my lower hand. And you might feel a lot of stretch coming up that left side. Again, try and find that muscular softness. It can be pretty hard to do when you're in these weird, seemingly awkward poses. Almost there. Breathe until it's so close now. You might feel that getting more intense. I certainly do. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, very slowly come out of there. Take a moment, just breathe length through the body. Feel free to find a little release through the neck. See how that feels. And we shall go to the other side. Extending out to your left leg, bringing the right leg in. Bringing your blocks over. Now remember, our two sides are never the same. So you may find that your posture is a little different. You may need a little support underneath your left knee or underneath your right knee or underneath your extended leg. So just find what your body needs, where you need to be to find the most benefit in this pose. 3 minutes. You can interlace your fingers the other way just for something different to do. And go ahead, find that support and rest down. Try not to collapse your body forward because this is a lateral dragonfly stretch and we're looking for the stretch up the side of the body. We're not actually looking for it in the leg. You may have it there if you've got tightness, but that's not the target right now. And then start to work through the tension in the body, looking for that muscular softness. And if you need to pad yourself and cushion yourself up even more, then that's what you need to do. Breathe deeply, especially if you're starting to feel really challenged, if there's intensity coming up the side of the body. Ease off if it's too intense. Remember, there's only really 2 ways you can do your yin wrong. One is aggressive, full on, too forceful. And the other one is actually not finding your edges enough, holding back too much. Trying to make your yin a restorative practice rather than a therapeutic one. Seconds to go. Breathe deeply. Find that surrender. 2. Gently release. Oh. Breathe into it. Find a little movement if you want to. Let that energy come back into your body. We're going to come into lion's breath, Simhasana. So, wide-legged child's pose, and I will have this blanket for my little ankle back there that needs that extra support and extra love. And we're going to turn our palms in and down to the ground. And it's just a minute here. We're just going to stretch out the fascia in the forearms. Breathe into it. And release. So that might have been intense for some, and that might have been super easy for others. Release onto your Caesar, Japanese kneeling pose, and we're actually going to turn the wrist the other way. So this time, palms facing away from you and placing your backs of the hands underneath your armpits or just to the side of your body. Another minute here. Breathe. If you do a lot of computer work, then this practice today will just be so good for you. This can be pretty intense, so breathe into it if you've got a lot of tightness around your wrists. I remember always practice kindness. There we go, release that out. Oh, bring some energy back into the fingers. Shake it out if you want to. We're going to move into our puppy pose for 3 minutes. Now, again, depending on your flexibility in your body and how you feel about tightness in your shoulders, puppy pose can be super intense. So you can have a couple of blocks, one for the chest, maybe a little higher than the one for your forehead. And we're going to have our knees underneath our hips, maybe slightly in front, slightly behind. You don't want to be all the way down, and you don't want to be all the way too far forward, just so that you can reach the ground. But then again, just see what your body wants you to do. Now you could have a big bolster, you could have a couple of blocks, and you can surrender into your puppy pose here. For those who are a little bit more flexible, then maybe you just have one block and surrender down towards the floor. And then for those who are super flexible, then go ahead and extend all the way down. And we're in this one, a little puppy pose for 3 minutes, so it can be intense. Just make sure that you start off comfortable, and then as it gets more intense, you can step your blocks down slowly, slowly, slowly. And you can have your head turned to the side, straight forward. Just again, find what works for you. Keep breathing, we're almost there. So close. Very, very slowly. Take your time because we're in these poses for quite some time. Release out very slowly. Yeah, see how you feel. And you might want to do a little cat stretch there, rounding out the back, chin into your chest. This is a little counter pose, little movement. But do what feels good for you here. You might want to do a big old downward facing dog. Just again, do what feels good. Release out the shoulders, loosen out the neck. And we're still working our upper body. We're going to do a half twisted branch. So you're going to be in a tadpole or a wide-legged child's pose. You're going to extend your right arm, left arm over the top so that you can rest your forehead and let your chest open out. So after puppy pose, hopefully it'll be a little more comfortable. Widen out those legs. And my right arm extends, my left arm can come over the top, and I'm just going to rest my forehead on my arm, or I could rest it onto the ground. Again, it depends on how comfortable I am about bringing my chest down to the floor. I could have my head to one side here. And we're going to be in this one also for 3 minutes. Starting from now, I'm just going to place that little blanket underneath my ankle for comfort. Breathe into it. And we can activate this extended arm for a few moments just to really get the energy into it by spreading your fingers. Connect the pads of the fingertips into the floor. Give a little grip in, reach in, get that energy going, and then relax and release it. itchy nose, sorry. Just over a minute to go. Take a deep breath in very gently and slowly release. And we shall do the same thing on the other side. So extending out to the left arm, right arm over the top. Surrender. 3 minutes. If it's too intense through the inner thighs, you can bring the legs in, but if you have kind of softened through that first hold there, you can widen the knees even more. And remember, you can do that extension through the fingers of your left hand. Connect through the pads of the fingertips. Press in, energize the arm, draw the arm down the back. Deep breath in and then soften, release. Almost there. 20 seconds to go. And deep breath in very slowly, slowly release yourself out. And those legs might be feeling a little tight, so crawl out from there and definitely get some movement in. You want to get the synovial fluid pumping through the knees again, so move them out. Both sides. See how you feel. We're going to come into our broken wing pose. So it's a little bit of a weird position. You're going to have your arms out to a T. Right arm in this case is going to come to my chest to leverage me over so that I roll onto the side of my arm. So I'll just show you from here. Let's see if we stay in frame here. So my left arm is extended out, my right arm is going to roll over, and I can take my left leg, my right leg with me if I want to, and I can stay here. Or I can have both knees bent, or I can have my leg staying over the front. It really depends on how tight you are in that front shoulder. So breathe into it. I'll show you what it looks like on the other side, just in case you're a bit confused about what I'm talking about. So I'm going to start the timer now. Hopefully you are in position, and we're only going to be in this one for 2 minutes because it can be pretty intense. If you've got bony shoulders, maybe a little blanket underneath the shoulder. And then up and over you go. If you're super flexible, you can also lift the other knee off the ground. Feet are flat, legs are wide. But again, just find what works for your lower body. Make sure your upper body is comfortable. If this is just too intense, then ease off. Lie on your front with your, so if you're comfortable here, stay here. For those of you that are like this, no, just nah. Then come onto your front with your arm extended and just gently see if you can roll it a little bit, just a smidge. You can let the leg hang out behind you, or you can have it in front and just stay down. So you might just be in this position here, and that's fine. And we're almost there. If you feel like you haven't been here long enough, you can stay a little longer. It's just 2 minutes because it's a big one. It's a biggie. There we go. Gently roll out. Extend your arms out to a T. Rest on your front. Then when you're ready, bringing your other hand into your chest and rolling yourself up and over, and I'll start that time. Whoops, turn off this time. And start the next clock. And I'll move closer to the wall on this side. Up and over. And see where you're at. Remember, the easy version is there. And then there's this intense version. Just make sure you're not overdoing it. And comfort for that shoulder. Almost there. Breathe deeply. If you've got any tingling, any weird sensations, ease out because you're probably trapping a nerve, so don't stay if you feel epic tingling or weirdness in the body. We want to gently stretch the body. We don't want to damage it. And then very gently roll out of that one. Rest on your front for a few breaths. You can also move into a child's pose if you prefer. But if you're happy just to rest here on your belly, let everything soften. Deep breath in and gently ease out. Feel free to find a little movement. We are going to stay on our belly though. We're going to come into our Sphinx pose just for a little upper back strengthening and loosening out. So Sphinx pose, elbows shoulder width apart, and they can be an inch forward of the elbows if you like. It's all about finding where you feel supported and comfortable. Now you can let yourself sink into your Sphinx pose. You can have a block for your head to rest on if you want to, or you can actually lift the body out of the Sphinx pose and try and soften the lower body. So your choice, find what works and what feels good for you. And we're going to do 2 minutes here as well. Breathe into it. Now remember, in any back bend in our yin, you can bring in a little muscular effort just to keep yourself comfortable and safe. If you feel a lot of intensity in the lower back, then just hug in the buttocks and the outer thighs a little and then release, or keep them hugged in. Almost there. Breathe into it. gently release yourself very slowly down to the ground. Wobble out those hips from side to side. That will allow your spinal nerves to relax. And then gently tuck your toes, bring your hands to your ribs, gently press up very slowly and move into a child's pose just for a moment. Just to let the back release and soften. And the home stretch now, only one more pose. Breathe in, rise up, come onto your back, and we're going to do twisted roots. So, lying on your back. Now, if twisted roots is too intense for you, just bring the knees in, shift your hips. In this case, I'm shifting my hips to the right side first, and then knees stack, drop to the left. But if I'm going to do my twisted roots, I'm going to take my left leg over the top of the right, and either they can just kind of press up against each other with my knees coming into my chest, or I can twist them right up, hence the name twisted roots. I'm going to shift my hips to the left, and that left knee, it's the one that's over the top, that's the one that comes to the ground. Just got to shift the mic. There we go. And arms wherever you like. And we're going to be here also for 2 minutes. You can be here longer if you like. Try and relax, try and soften. Almost there. Gently release. Release out. And you can, as always, find movement on one side, or you can just move straight into the other side. So if you're going for your twisted root, shifting the hips over, curl those legs up, left over the right, hips over, sorry, this is, yes, my left over right. My left and right's confused. And then shift the hips to the left and knees down to the right. And relax and let me pop that time on. 2 minutes from now. wherever you like. Knees can come down to a support if they need to. A block if you're finding it too intense on the shoulders or the back. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You are done. Unwind. Feel free to find a little movement or just move into Savasana. Feet wider than the hips, arms out by the side. Grab your blanket if you're feeling a little chilly. Make yourself nice and cozy and warm. And surrender. Stay here for at least another 5 minutes. Allowing your body to fully rest. Thank you so much for joining me. If you enjoyed this practice and you're not subscribed, subscribe and press that notification bell so you get all the notifications of when my new videos come out. Enjoy the rest of your day.